So speaking of Switch, they revealed their online details for their service, and I think it's pretty positive for the most part.
I think it is too. I mean, when you looked at the pricing structure for it, it was like what, $4 for a month, $8 for 3 months, and $20 for a year.
$20.
That's
no one
all
thought,
that matters.
No one thought it was going to be that cheap. Everyone would have said this is going to be the same price as Sony as Microsoft,
Right.
probably.
So I think $20 is really the only price point that we need to talk about right now. The $20 price point is insane compared to the $60, especially for what they are saying you'll get. Now, obviously, you'll get the online play, the chat, the
lobby, voice
lobby,
chat through the smartphone app, which thinks,
et cetera, et cetera. But more importantly, so I mean, most of these services, you know, for $60, they offer you the online play, the voice chat, the occasional deals on download games.
And by the way, this is all free until 2018. This doesn't kick in until next year.
For the most part. If the game stuff comes up before then, it actually shows on the checkbox that you won't get it, but I don't know if that'll happen before 2018. So you get the voice chat, you get the occasional deals on games. This is on other platforms. And then you usually get like 2 games free a month. Sony used to be really good about it, but now it's usually like an indie game, which isn't a bad thing. But they're usually cheap enough that people who want them buy them day one, and then, you know, something else.
Oh, by the way, oh, yeah, you're right. Only online's free till 2018. Yeah. The classic game selection we'll get into is not. Okay.
Right. What Nintendo is offering for $20 is all the online and a classic game selection. Now, what they initially had talked about in earlier this year was dripping you a new game a month.
One basically featured free game a month they were going to do.
Right.
On the service. That's sort of here's the one game you can play it online, and I guess if you want to buy it afterwards you can, but here's your sampling.
Here's your sampling.
Here's your bone we're throwing you.
It was kind of an interesting idea. Sure. I mean, to a degree, it gets everyone playing and talking about one game, but obviously not really a great deal or a great idea other than that. They've since removed that limitation, and what it basically sounds like they're going to be offering people is a Nintendo Netflix library that will grow over time. They said that there will be multiple titles to choose from, and as long as you have the subscription, excuse me, as long as you have the subscription, you'll be able to play these games. That's really no different than the quote-unquote free games that you get via Xbox Live Gold or the PlayStation Network completely free games, which disappear if you lose your membership. Now, anything that you download via a sale that's exclusive to like PSN network members or whatever, you get to keep, and I would hope that Nintendo would do that, because they did mention there will be eShop discounts for members. But still, for $20 a year, that's insane.
Well, this says you'll be able to download classic games at no extra cost. I'm not sure that means you can keep them, but you're going to have them available.
I'm pretty certain they said that only multiple times, only while you have the subscription.
So they confirmed Super Mario 3, Balloon Fight, and Dr. Mario
so far.
So the big news about this to me is that they are considering Super Nintendo games as well.
Yes,
that is huge. On top of this, and then the biggie about this, which is to me and Ian not as a big deal as the public, online multiplayer for these games is a huge freaking deal.
Yeah,
this makes the Switch now the viable successor in terms of you want to be able to play Tecmo Bowl against your friend like you did 30 years ago that lives across town. Now you can. Or Super Mario 3, we can double up, and play 2 players. That is huge to me.
I think Dr. Mario is an amazing 2-player game. Now I can play that with someone.
Now I can go, hey Ian, let's play it together, and without coming. That is huge, and now you have a little bit more of a gleam, a little more window into the soul of Nintendo of why they might have canceled the NES Classic Edition, because they might have seen this.
No, I think that's eyes wide open.
But I mean, they probably didn't think of that until recently. Maybe they saw the huge, maybe the NES Classic Edition and the huge sales gave them this idea, and said, you know what? Instead of us producing these $60 consoles, having to deal with the bullshit of the manufacturing and the shipping, and then getting relatively small profit, what if we just add this as the cherry on top of our online service, and we make sure the 15 million or so people that are buying a Switch in 2017, we'll say 80% of those people spend $20 a month on this service, and that ends up being a hell of a lot more than buying a $60 NES Classic Edition once. That's probably their gambit. I think it's wrong to an extent because it leaves out people that won't ever get a Switch. But I see their point, and it is smart.
No, I think it is too. And I mean, I even went so far back as to say that I think the reason they discontinued the Switch was because, or discontinued the NES Classic Edition, was because they had something in store for the Switch regarding the Virtual Console.
Sure.
And this is obviously above and beyond the Virtual Console, and I think this justifies my thought.
Sure, I still think they probably should have just jacked the price of the Classic Edition to $80 or $100 in order to get more profit. But it is what it is. To me, it's almost like if this didn't exist for $20, people would still get it. Now you have to get it for $20. Excuse me, $20 a year, not a month. You have to buy it.
Well, I feel that way about any online service on any console, but Nintendo just softened the blow.
Exactly. They're going to say, okay, well, you think you should be able to play online anyway.
It's a third of the price, and we're going to give you a bunch of those retro games you want to play.
And you can play them online.
Yep.
You can't do that with the NES Classic Edition. You can't wire it to play, your aunt in Tuscaloosa. Or I'm sure I pulled that name out of. So I guess it's going to come down to what games you see available, how many third-party ones are going to be able to get, because obviously any Nintendo published one / developed one they'll be able to get. But if there's a special one out there, if they have to get Contra, we'll see how long it stays for $20 a year. Versus there'll probably be ones that are always going to be available, then you can just buy them separately, just like on the Virtual Console for like whatever, $3 or $5. So that's actually exciting to me. That me and Ian can play pro wrestling against each other all the time.